Okay, guys, you are very welcome back to episode 9 of Chats with BTD. Delighted to be joined by the man that's usually behind the camera, Steo Donnelly. So, Steo is a former player with Bohemians, Glenavon, St. Moctis, and Usher Celtic. So, Steo, it's a bit different today. The man that's usually behind the camera is sitting in front of me. So, look, how's things? How's life and all
all
that?
good. Yeah, busy at the moment. Obviously working a primary school, so in there most of the time. And then I'm opening up a photo studio at the moment, so that's taking up a lot of time after school. So
It's really
busy.
taken off of you, hasn't it?
Yeah. No, thanks to you obviously as well you were one of my first clients, weren't you? Really.
Yeah,
So
sure was.
and we're still going strong. But yeah, no, it's going really well. I really enjoy it. My dad was a photographer, so he helped me start as well. And yeah, just going with it, it's good.
Brilliant. So we'll get cracking into the football side of things.
Let's do it.
Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into football.
I just played for a local team, Gunnar boys they were called back then. I think I started for the under sevens when I was 5.
Myself.
There was a one of the lads that I played with on the road. His dad was the manager, and he's like, "Oh, come around, put you up top," kind of thing. Like, I was always kind of, I don't know. I was obviously on the bench because I was small, like, you know what I mean. So all the lads were way bigger than me. Like, I was 5, they were 7. So, but it was good. It was enjoyable. And then I stayed with them until I was probably. Then I changed to Phoenix. I went from Gunnar boys to Phoenix FC, and I think I was probably 14 when I left them. So I was there from like under 7 right up, like, but I really enjoyed it there. It was a great little club. But yeah, it was good. As long as I can remember, I was just always playing football, like, as a kid growing up out on the road and always playing hit the pole, just that kind of game. And and then I think I went to here I go. I think I was on trials with Belleville.
Okay.
When I was like, I'd say, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. No, maybe a little bit older. And I got right to the end, like they were bringing me to games and stuff like that. And then right just before the season started, it's like, oh, we're gonna have to let you go. So I just went straight back to Phoenix, whatever, back with my mates. Was playing there. Then after that, I think I went to trials for Home Farm. They went really well, and then they took me on. So then I was with Home Farm. Then I think it was 4 years.
Right. So
that
what age would you made the step to Home Farm?
I think I was 14. Because I think I done 4 years there. Maybe I could have been 13. Because I done the 4 years and then I went straight to America then on a football scholarship. So I think it was 4 years at Home Farm. Good players, like, some good, like Luke Bourne. Trying to think who else that is still playing. Dan Bourne played for Dan played for Bows.
Yeah.
Good few players, like, and I would have been the Belleville team in that league would have been probably winning everything. That was Graham Burke.
Right.
John O'Sullivan, so we never won the league, never got close to winning anything, but loved me time at Home Farm. It was really, really good.
And how were you successful at all during any of them stints?
I can't even remember now. Did we win anything? I don't think we did. But it was just enjoyable, like, I love playing for Home Farm. I always loved football, I loved training, so it didn't really bother me as much back then. I think as I got older, then I wanted to win things, like, but as a kid, I was just happy playing football and scoring goals, and
And how did you find your skill by kind of football as a whole then? Like, did you find yourself you were right up there with the best, or because obviously you mentioned Graham Burke and Luke Bourne there as well?
I think I always struggled when I was younger because I was very small, like, you know what I mean.
Hasn't changed, right?
Yeah, no, I still am quite small, like. But I just always had an eye for goals, so that helped me. Like, that was the best thing about football for me, was scoring goals.
Right.
Didn't really like anything else. Like,
it's the hardest thing to do as well. Put it in the back of the net.
Probably selfish. I was always really selfish in a way with football, because like we could win 3-0 and I didn't score, I'd be going home fuming, like, like it didn't matter like what game it was. It could have been a huge game that we need to win, but if I didn't score, going home the height of it, like, But yeah, it was schoolboy was good. It was obviously, I'd say, like, when I was starting out, it would have been on the bench a good bit, like, because obviously I was catching up with a lot of the lads. Home farm, then I was kind of in and out. And then I would be starting, then I think my last year at home farm, then I was kind of probably starting more games, like, you know, I was kind of getting up to speed, but I was doing extra stuff then, you know what I mean, because I felt like I always had to do extra compared to other lads because I was small, and so that really helped me, like, you know.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
No,
extra
definitely,
training.
you know it does, and I always done extra training, and I remember even when I went to Usher the first time, and I was doing extra training on my own, I was staying doing runs and shooting and stuff, and there was lads laughing at me, like, you know, like kind of making fun of me, like, you know, that way, like, what's he doing, like, it was
Look at this
fella.
busy chap.
But then as the season went on and started scoring all these goals, they're like, oh, they weren't saying
Now it
that
makes
anymore,
sense,
like, you know what I mean? There was other lads then starting to do the runs, like, you know, but
I
yeah.
find that's crazy though. You know, even I probably would have been reluctant like that as well during probably me teens.
Yeah.
You know, lads probably staying back to do extra. It's nearly like a thing, oh, look at this busy fella.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even
But it's so important, like, do you know what I mean?
one memory sticks out was with Usher, and I was doing it, like, Jay Ivory's,
Yeah.
like, always messing, like, you know, and like, he was recording me, like, you know,
Right.
and sending it to the group and slagging me and all like that, but I didn't care, like, because it helped me and it made me a better player, because I needed it, like, I wanted to be the best, kind of, you know, whatever, but
Fair play.
yeah, no,
We'll
definitely.
speak a little bit about, you mentioned the scholarship to America there. How did that all kind of come about? Was that something that you had, like, a goal to kind of go and achieve, or?
When I was with Home Farm, I think it was maybe under 16s, we went to a tournament in America with Home Farm. It's like the San Diego Cup or whatever, and just the setup and everything over there was unreal. I was like, jeez, I like this, like, you know. So that was great. We done really well over there. I think we lost I think we won the final over there or whatever. And then came home, and then I think the next year then there was lads coming in. I think it was Pass for Soccer or something like that. It was some American companies,
or
like,
whatever, yeah.
you know, would anyone be interested in coming in doing trials and going over or whatever. So I was like, oh yeah, like, kind of like the sound of that, like, you know. So done the trials. I think it was out in the AOL or something like that. Obviously they take the footage. There is coaches that come over from America, but I actually got scouted by lads from the footage of the games, like, you know, that way.
Yeah.
I done well in the games, like, I scored a few goals, like, there was good players, and then there was some players that were like, weren't good, like, you know.
Weren't that it?
And then there was other lads that they were just trying to do everything on their own, but whereas you just 1-2 was passing it around, like, it kind of stood to you more. So that footage went up online wherever for all these coaches in America, like, you know, and a couple of colleges got onto me and stuff like that and talked to me after that day. And then there was just one college, Slippery Rock, that's where I ended up going, like, you know.
Okay.
Text me, coaches like Michael Donnelly or something mad anyway. And it kind of just went from there, and then I had to do some exam, the SATs, so I done that over in, I don't even know where it was, somewhere over in the south side of some college. And it was hard, it was like 5 hours long, like, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it was
The
really
exam
long.
was?
Something like that, yeah, you're in and out like for an hour and a half, then you go back in for an hour and a half. Oh, it was mad, like, it was very difficult as well, like.
And
it was like
whereabouts in America was that?
it was well, I'd done that test here obviously, but then
Okay.
obviously when I got the SATs for this college, and I needed 820 points, and I got 820 points, like, and that would have been low enough. It wasn't a high score, do you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, it's just obviously meant to be for this Slippery Rock College, so I said, right, I'll do it, like, you know. Went for it, and yeah, didn't look back, like, I was over there 5 years, but it was amazing
5
experience.
years?
Yeah, 5 years. So played 4 years, and then obviously with the school work and playing football, like, not that I didn't take school work serious, but
You're young and
yeah,
stuff
you're
like
young and there's parties and everything like
Yeah.
that and
that.
whatever.
What did he
so
call them? Frat parties or
frat
something over
parties
there?
and all
Yeah.
this, the red cups, and it was mad.
Yeah.
Like, there was parties every weekend. It was
Really, yeah.
carnage, like, but it was great. Like, it was really good. So obviously I had to do an extra year to do classes. So
Okay.
I actually coached that year with the team.
Right.
So that was good, like, you know. But yeah, no, it was an amazing experience over there. Really was. It was unreal. Really, really good.
So see, when you move across to, you know, very far from home,
Yeah.
like America, what type of, you know, challenges or barriers do you have to overcome?
Yeah, like, obviously going over there is like America's like, these aren't going to be good, you know, players or whatever. So I didn't do anything going over. Like, I was so unfit. And I remember the first training, it's like the pre-season was like 2 weeks, and you're training at 7 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and then 7 at night, 3 times a day. Like,
No way.
mad. It was mental, but remember the first day I was in bits, sunburnt. Obviously, you know, it was sunny over there at that time. And I was in bits. The next day I woke up in the bed. I could not move. Like, I mean, I've never felt that sore in my life, but got on with it anyway. But just they were all athletes and so fit and looked after themselves and everything like that. So it was kind of hit with a culture shock in that way. It was mad, like, you know, and like some of the players, like, I was better than most of them, but they were so far ahead of me in physically, you know what I mean. I was behind them going over. So my first year was kind of tough, like, you know. And then when I went over there, I was actually, you have to send the stuff into the NCA. It's basically your grades and stuff from over here. And it came back when I was over there that I was ineligible. So I wasn't going to be able to play for the first year. So my head was gone. So like, what am I going to do? They needed science, and I never done science in my leaving cert.
Okay.
It's like, here, what am I going to do? So I remember I'd done fourth year. So I asked one of the teachers in the school, can you send like fake up grades for biology, chemistry, and I don't know the other one, what was it, like physics or whatever?
Physics, yeah.
And he sent all A's. We sent it in, and I got eligible. Like, so like, thank God. Like,
We should have done that with leaving
it was a complete lie, like, to them, but they obviously just seen he done it, got the A's or whatever, like, and it was grand. I got to play that year, so it was good. Like, because I'd say, like, if I wasn't eligible for the fourth, I probably would have came home, to be honest, if I wasn't playing, like, because obviously you're going over there to play and they tell you can't. You're like, oh, what am I going to do here? But yeah, so it worked out in the end, like, you know.
Brilliant. And talk to me a little bit about the level. What type of level are we talking here? Like, yeah, I know you mentioned there that's more so athletes. Like, you felt like you were better than other players.
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, no, you're alright. You know, I believe from college football over there, like, you can kind of go up the ranks, you know, year on year, or if you get so far and like I don't know, do they call them nationals or something like that?
Yeah. So like you play your regular season and then you do well in your regular season, you can get picked for nationals.
Right.
So there's three divisions: Division 3, Division 2, and Division 1. We were in my college in Division 2. And like some colleges that are in like Division 2 could be in Division 1, but they're not big enough. There's not enough people in the school, and there's loads of like difference. It's actually hard to understand, to be honest. So we were in Division 2, and we were in the PSAC, it was called, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. So like we done well enough in it. So then at the end of the year, you watch this like TV program to see if you make it to nationals, and then you go play against other, you know, against Florida teams, all this kind of stuff. But what the league I was in was just Pennsylvania teams. But like you could be traveling 6 hours, 7 hours for a game. America's huge, like, you know what I mean. Pennsylvania.
And flights and all, like.
No, we never got flights. We always.
America's huge, like.
Yeah, like we were getting 11-hour bus drives and stuff like that. But you were always like so looked after, like well looked after. You'd stop in a hotel like halfway. You get your food, everything like was professional, like, you know. In regards to like the how good players were, like some players were really good and some players were absolutely terrible. Like I'm not like just some lads were just on the team for grades nearly in a way to keep up the GPA of the team. Like the politics to it was mad. Like, but there was a lot of internationals over there, a lot of English, a lot of Germans, and like some
South Americans.
Yeah, some Brazilians, like were so good, like really really good. But then there was other lads that were just like you just can't play football at all, like, you know.
That's gas.
Yeah, but no, it was the quality really, like it actually. It surprised me, like it did surprise me going over, because I thought it was going to be, you know, really really good compared to them, like, you know. So yeah, no, they were very good.
Just in terms of what we do as well, you know, I suppose a lot of our listeners, you know, they're probably coming to that stage where, you know, they're coming to the end of their school time or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, would you encourage it for people to go across, you know, on scholarships to America or elsewhere?
If I could do it again, I'd be gone. It was the best 5 years of my life. Honest to God, it was just amazing. Like it's not like you know you're part of the team, but it's like a family. Like, you know what I mean. And you're with each other every day. It's the next best thing to professional, really, if you think of it and looking at it away. What you're doing, you're training every day. You're getting fed. Obviously, you're going to classes. You're getting your degree as well, which is great. Like, you know, I studied PE teaching.
Right.
But yeah, it was just amazing. Like one thing was. It is expensive, like, you know what I mean. I got a decent enough scholarship, but like it's still expensive, like at the end of the year, depending on what scholarship you get, you know. So that's just one thing to kind of look out for. Like if I was saying to someone going over there, have the backing of it, like obviously your man, dad, or whatever like that can help you, like, because you do need it a lot, like, you know.
Yeah. In terms of the success rate, then what are we talking? So I think that's what's really good. Like I done something similar here in IT Carlo, sports coaching and business. So to still the same structure type of thing. Like you go in as a player, you train every day, you do your gym work, you get your coaching badges, all that type of stuff. You know, video analysis and everything else that comes with it. But in terms of the success rate, in terms of like players going on to, you know, further things, or you know, lads that end up going down the coaching route, or even lads that end up using their degree to their
No, like it definitely, like there was obviously, I know Aaron Malloy is still over there. He's doing really well, I think.
Yeah, he's doing excellent actually.
So there's one example. I think Stephen Chambers, but what's his James, is it?
James,
I know he was over there. I think he's coaching now. But there is a lot of lads that stayed on from my college team, like that. One or two like went and played whatever PDL and stuff like that. So there was like, no, it is like there is a good success rate, like, you know. They do a draft over there, like the MLS. It's mad, like what they do.
Why does that work?
I don't even know, to be honest. I haven't
it even confused me, like when you hear drafts in relation to football, you're kind of going, what's that?
It is confusing, like, you know, compared to obviously over here where you just transfers and stuff like that, you sign people. But yeah, no, there's a lot of lads that were there as well that are still coaching over there too, like, you know. It's good. It's good. It's obviously a full-time job as well, you know. It's not just going over here where you need another job, you know what I mean. Coaching, like, there's a lot of money in it, I'd say, like, you know. For people, if they were interested, like it is, they can make a career out of it.
Brilliant.
But yeah, no, it's really
so
good.
Talk to me a little bit about then your time in America comes to an end. What's the next phase? You come home, did you go straight back into playing ball here, or?
I can't even remember. I think I came home and I put up a Facebook status and I was like, any teams looking for a player. Like, I had no intentions of doing anything mad or anything, you know, just coming home and trying to get back into it. Because obviously I didn't play for a year because I was coaching in America. So yeah, I came home, put that up, and I think Deco Brennan, he said come down to Drumcondra. So I was like, right, grand. I went down there and I was training. Like, when I came home, like, I didn't know what the Leinster Senior League was. I didn't know what the AUL was. I didn't know anything about amateur football because I left when I was 17, 18 to go over to America and come back. So I never knew who was good or what way I went. So I ended up training with them, and then my best friend Carl Lynham, he was like, come down to Usher. So I was like, right, I'll go down to them. And the difference from Drumcondra to Usher, like, was night and day. Like, I loved it straight away. They were playing football, like, you know, something that suited me because I'm small. I need the ball at my feet, 1-2s, all that kind of stuff, and that's what Usher were doing. So yeah, I just went from there, and I was listening to obviously Bucko's podcast and the Three Piece podcast, and he was saying that, like, basically Bucko had been training with Usher a few seasons, but he never signed, and I was there, and Wes was asking me to sign because I was scoring goals, banging the goals straight away, and he's like, please sign, and I was like, if Bucko signs, I'll sign. And Bucko was saying the same thing. If Steo signs, I'll sign. So the two of us end up signing then, and obviously we had a really good year. It was the AUL, like, you know, and I think we came second in the league. Sheriff beat us in everything.
Really? That was when they were phenomenal.
Yeah, like, but I'd never heard of them. Do you get me? So I didn't know, like, who these lads were, and then obviously I found out quick enough who they were. Like, they were unbelievable. Like, you know, they were so good. But they pipped us to everything. Like, you know, the only thing that got me, like, happy was got finished with the golden boot ahead of Rocker. Like, you know, so that was big for me. Like, but no, they beat us to everything. Everything. They were just different animals. They were unreal. Like, at the time, like, just, I look back now and I think about it, I would have loved to play for them.
Right.
But at the time, I couldn't think of anything worse. You know what I mean? I was Usher through and through. Like, but yeah, they were just so good. I like, even like now when playing, obviously last couple of years playing the Leinster Senior League for Mocktus and stuff, that in the top league, I just think they'd still probably they would have walked that league as well.
Really,
like, you know?
that good, like.
And they were coming to the end at that time when I was coming in, like.
John Lester was in that team.
Lester, Joe Flood, Paulie Murphy, all of them, like, they were just, and obviously all brothers, Lee Murphy in goal, Bounds, like, just so good, like, you know, really good. But I loved that challenge of playing against them because they were so good. So that made me want to beat them, like, you know. So yeah, the first year we finished runners up to them and everything. And then it was the next year then. Actually, I think after that season I signed for Bows, but it didn't go too well for me. So I think I was there 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And I just wasn't getting a look in, so I said to myself, I just want to play football. Like, I didn't come home for this.
So, see, when you came back from America,
Mm.
you went to Usher for how long?
Year.
A year.
Yeah.
And then Bowes come calling?
Bowes came calling. There was a few
Right.
clubs, Bowes, Pats. And I was training with Pats. And then I was going over a session for Bowes. Like, and they were
Okay.
training in Daily Man, which was good, like, you know. And we were training out in the Alta for Pats at the time. And the training with Pats went really, really well. Like, they were playing ball, like, you know.
Who was the coach at the time?
He was the coach at the time there.
What year are we talking now?
Buckley.
Oh, yeah,
Buckley.
Liam Buckley,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he pulled me and he's like, no, like, we'd love to sign you. You know, you're doing really well in training, which I was. I could feel, you know, when you're doing well, like, you know. He's like, you know, Keith Long, he won't play it at Bowes. Like, he has Akinade there and Dinny.
Yeah, Dinny Cochran, yeah.
So I was just like, oh, what I do? Obviously, I'm a big Bowes fan all my life.
Yeah.
So then Keith Long was like, no, I'll give you a chance and come sign for us. But like, I found Bowes training very tough.
Really? Like,
Very,
physically?
very
like,
tough. Like, even when I signed for Bowes, like, I ended up signing for Bowes, it took me like a month and a half
to
to catch.
adapt,
Like, there's a
like.
huge difference. Like, people don't think there is a difference, but these lads are really, really good. Like, compared to the Leinster Senior League, there's a huge difference. Like, massive difference. Some lads, no, it's not good enough, but it is. Like, there's a huge difference. But I ended up signing for Bowes, and it turned out that Buckley was right. Like, he just wasn't giving me a chance. And Keith Long was saying, like, Akinade, I think he got a spleen removed.
Yeah.
Around that time, he's like, oh, he's not going to be back for months, 4 months. And like, the first training session after I signed, he was back. He was running, and I'm like,
And that fella can run.
You know,
my God.
It was one centre forward and Keith Ward, like.
Yeah.
So like, I had Dinny and Akinade to get in ahead of like seasoned lads that have been playing in the League of Ireland. You're not getting in, like, you know.
Yeah.
So there was a few games. One game, then we went down to Limerick and we were losing 2-1, and there was no striker on the bench, and I don't think Dinny was having a good game or whatever. I think he had to come off, and he put Lorcan Fitzgerald on ahead of me, and there was a few. I remember your man, you know, Oren, who passed away. He was doing the podcast, and I was looking back on it, and like, when he put him on, he's like, why didn't you put, like, not that I should have been put on, but like, a striker, put him on, give him a chance, you know, that way. And he was going mad in the stand and stuff like that. But after that game, went home the next day, I rang, I was like, look, let me go back to Usher, I just want to play football. So I went back to Usher then.
Right.
So yeah, that's how that ended with Bowes, like, you know.
Right, yeah.
But it was a great experience. The lads
Especially as a fan, that was.
yeah,
well,
it was
like, do you know
huge,
what I
like,
mean?
it was. And I remember coming back from America, and I went to the game, went to a Bowes game, and I sent a picture to me dad of Daily Mount. He's like, I'm gonna sign for this, give you know, whatever, like, and I did, and always tried to find that message, and never could, like, you know. But yeah, no, it was a big honour, like, to sign for them, but it just didn't work out. That's football, like, you know.
Oh, it's crazy just to touch there. You're speaking about the levels. I think a lot of kind of, what would you say, talk goes on social media, especially that Twitter.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, especially
I could play Leinster Senior, but like, you know, we've played you know, against League of Ireland opposition. You know, win cups and stuff like that. We got to, you know, early rounds of the Leinster Senior. Oh, not the Leinster Senior, the FAI Cup, sorry. And like, you're on the pitch, and after 3 minutes you're going, well, the tempo here is a joke. Do you know what I mean? So it is crazy, like. Yeah,
it's the intensity, like, even the training at Bowes was just like unbelievable. I was miles off it. And I struggled obviously with my Achilles, that's why I retired, and I got surgery and stuff later on in my career. But like, as soon as I went into Bowes, even before Bowes, I was up on the table, just in bits all the time. So I felt like I couldn't even keep up. I couldn't do the extra training that I was always doing because I was just in so much pain with the Achilles, like, in bits. And then I remember one time I went and I done an extra little bit in the bogies, and I went over my ankle, and I done my ankle, like, and I went back and told Keith Long, and he was fuming. Like, and then I think about it now, I was like, why was he fuming? He was never playing me anyway, you know. But that knocked me back again in Bowes. Like, I was out for like 4 or 5 weeks only when I came in, like, you know. And obviously I shouldn't have been playing football in the bogies, like, you know, just astro with the lads, like, you know. But yeah, just these things happen.
Yeah. Speak to me a little bit about, I suppose, the next phase then. You
so
leave
then
Bowes
went back to
Usher.
Usher. So I'm back for Usher. And the same lads obviously there, Bucko was there, Wezzo. Obviously my 2 best mates were still there. That's why I signed for Usher, because of them, really. Macker and LOI. So yeah, I went back there, and this was the year kind of we got the better Sheriff, like, you know. We ended up winning the league that year. I think we won a cup, but we won the Liddy Cup by them not showing up. I don't know what happened. They had a wedding or something the weekend and they weren't going to turn up for the game. But we were like, no, like you can't just go on a holiday. Something like that. It was mad politics. They probably tell you a different story. I don't know like what the ins and outs. You know, football, like you never know. Like we were just players, like what was going on in the background. But obviously beating Share, I think they won it like 6 or 7 years in a row, and we went down, I think the second last game of the season, and they had to beat us, like kind of them stand a chance of winning the league, and I was thousands at it. It was deadly. Like,
where was this now?
This was down in Clontarf.
Yeah.
So it was like the second last game of the season. We still had to play Hardwick after. But if we won the league down there. So like, bad, like, you know, we were buzzing for it. And I think we went 3-0 up in the first half. And then Sheriff being Sheriff, they got it back to like 3-2. Then I think it went 4-4-2, 5-2, 6. I think it ended up being like 6-3 or something like that, and scored a hat trick.
You ever scored a hat trick?
Yeah.
Nice.
And like I'd scored 25 the season before, and I'd scored 26 that season. So I was trying to beat that. That's me again, me being selfish, trying to score a goal. So yeah, that was a great night. I'll never forget that, obviously. But like, to be fair to the Sheriff boys, like they all stayed in the pitch and, you know, clapped us and stuff like that. You know,
respect was there.
Yeah, like it's like they didn't respect you on the pitch, but after the game,
it's great to see that.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's good. Like, but yeah, we won the league, so we won the double as such. But obviously, it didn't really feel like a double because we didn't get to play that game. Like, you know, I think they beat us then in another cup. But yeah, that was really, really good, and that's when Glenavon came around, because Gary Hamilton, Glenavon manager, was down watching that game. He tried to obviously sign me and Bucko, and we went up to Glenavon, me and Bucko, but Bucko being Bucko, he wanted to stay and play with his mates, whereas me, I wanted to kind of, you know, I wanted to do as much as I could in football, like, you know, and that opportunity came then. He was like, oh, like, we're going to be playing in the Europa League now, like, in a couple of weeks, you know. So I was like, right, I'll give it a bash. So I ended up signing then for Glenavon.
Right.
Yeah.
So that Glenavon would have been in the top Northern Ireland Premier Division at the time.
Yeah. And I think like they were doing all right. I think they done all right the previous year. But they would be like up the north. It's either Linfield, Glentoran, that always win it. Like Glenavon does that kind of trying to get Europe spots. Like that's kind of where they're at with their budget and stuff like that. But and obviously he was like, come up Tuesday, train, stay with Usher and train on the Thursday. So I only had to go up once a week, like, you know what I mean, and then play on the Saturday. So it was grand. It suited me with my job. I finish at 2:30 every day, so I was able to go up, you know, straight after training, get a bit of grub, and then train, and then come home. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I bought a new car. It's going up. I was happy, like, you know, and it was going really well at the start. We obviously played. We were playing in the Europa League. We were playing against Molde, Gunnar Solskjaer's team at the time, and we were obviously like, there was no way we were going to beat these, like, you know. And he was saying to me, like, no, like, you're going to come in and start these games, like, so. And he stuck to his word. To be fair to him, he stuck to his word. Like, I was playing up front. We played a 4-4-2. Played off some big huge lad like Mitchell, and we won that game 2-1. Haaland was playing.
That's something else.
Yeah, which was mad because I think he was only, I don't know, maybe 16, 17, 18, maybe at the time, maybe 16. I don't know what it was, but he was still
He was starting up top, was he?
Yeah, but there was so much talk about him then, like, because they were all the club was saying, like, there's like 12 scouts over, like, United. There was everyone, like, people, teams from Europe into Milan. There was mad teams like over watching, like, I'm here, like, this is mad. Ended up winning that game 2-1, like, and like, the manager Gary was saying, like, that's probably one of the best, you know, or up in that neck of the woods, like, their best result ever in Europe, like, against that team, because Molde were really good, like, you know.
What country is Molde again?
Norway.
Norway,
yeah, Norway. And so the next leg was obviously next week, but obviously after the game and all, like, Ollie was outside, he was taking pictures of everyone, and I loved him growing up as a kid, like, you know, he was a goal scorer, like, you know, like myself, and he obviously came off the bench a lot, like myself, so I always like, you know, looked up to him, and so it was great to talk to him after the game and stuff like that. And he was a gent. He stood around for like an hour, like taking pictures with people, like, you know, didn't complain or nothing like that. You know, as these people trying to get away, he was sound, like.
Humble fella, like.
Yeah, really, really nice. So we were going over to Norway with a 2-1 win, like, which was mental, like.
How did the second leg go?
Yeah, so we flew. Obviously, we got a chartered plane, like, for the team. Like, this is great. Like, I'm loving this, like, you know. And it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. Like, you want to check this place out. It was unreal. So it was good. But and the stadium was unreal. I'll try and show you a picture of the stadium. It was class. So I think I started over that game, and we were 3-0 down the first 45 minutes.
No
like, you know,
way.
I wouldn't mind. Like, I had one or two chances, like, you know, a couple of efforts, and but like they were just battering us. So it was just me up top of my own with a fella in behind me. So at half time he said to me, Steo, like, I'm gonna have to take you off, put on another defender. So I was like, alright, fair enough. Like, you know, didn't think anything of it. Like, I actually thought to myself, actually done alright there, you know, against these boys. And one or two of them had come from the Premier League. I can't even remember their names at this time, like, but some of them were just unbelievable. The best players I've ever played against on that team. Like, you just couldn't get near them. So good. And then we ended up getting a penalty, and it was 3-1. And then we were kind of pushing them then, like, you know, I was in the 90th minute or whatever, and like, we're obviously one goal away from going through, because I think away goals was still at the time, like, so if we had got another one, we were through. But we were pressing, and then they got another two in like the 91st and 92nd minute, and it finished 5-1, like, but didn't really matter, like, you know. It was some experience and something I'll never forget, because after the game I was obviously shaking our hands and shaking Haaland's hand and looking at this fella like he's huge. And then I went over to Ollie, and he stopped me then. He goes, "Are you injured?" I goes, "What you mean?" He goes, "You came off at half time." And I was like, "No." I said, "He's battering." I was like, "Just, you know, put on an extra defender." He said, "Oh," he said, because like, true as God, like, he came out, he didn't even have to say this. He's like, "Oh, like, 'cause my team talk at half time was you were the only threat. If you know what I mean, the only one." He said, "Just don't let him get the ball."
Keep him at bay, like.
Which was, I couldn't believe, like, this fella saying this to me. Like, it was really nice. I'll never forget it, you know. So and then obviously done alright with Glenavon, scored a few goals. During the season we were doing really well. We were top of the league for a good while. Like, then things kind of start going sour. We started losing games and wasn't playing. So just travelling up and not playing up there, like, travelling 4 hours, like, it's hard. So made the decision, like, after one of the games, I went up to Coleraine. It was 4 hours, and he was the manager. Gary Hampton was a player manager. Now, he never trained, he'd never done anything, and he put himself on ahead of me one day when we were down like 2-1, like 4 hours up the road, and I was just like, this isn't for me. Like, I need to go. So in January then I had to go into the chairman and have a chat with him and all, and then he eventually said, "Yeah, no, we'll let you go, like, if you want to go back down to Dublin." And that's what I did then. And then I think I was gone. I think I signed back for Usher then at that point.
Don't let me cut across you too much there
ahead.
now.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm probably talking too much.
Yeah, no, you're alright. Talk to me a little bit about obviously the levels again. So obviously you're coming up against, you know, that type of caliber of club and team and players playing in the Europa League. Was that just a straight kind of knockout there?
Yeah, that was it then. So we were gone, but like, playing that for me was just one of the
so obviously
best things,
you beat them. What score on the first leg?
2-1 over here. So
and then obviously the second leg didn't go according to plan. But like for anyone that's probably, you know, in around kind of playing at that level at the moment, or they might even be playing in youth teams, like say the 19s or the 20s. Like for anyone out there, like, how they might think they're really far off that level, but in hindsight, are they actually like?
They were just
really.
Like, it was they were unbelievable. We couldn't touch the ball.
Really.
Couldn't touch the ball. Then you're trying to tackle these lads and they're just gone. They were so good, like, really, really good. The best players again I've ever played against. They were just they were class. It was a big difference. Like, the Irish League up there, like, wouldn't be a massive difference. A lot of lads can go up and play there. But like, that Europa League step was just mental, like, you know. Like, this small team were in the group stages against Arsenal and everything like that. These were really good, like, they weren't bad players, like, you know. But yeah, there was a big difference. Like, I've never seen that, like how good these players were, like. And then I think like they're not even a good compared to like even the top sides, and I'm like, how good are these people? I think
there's always levels, isn't there?
one or two of the lads have said that on the podcast, Git and everything, and we're saying that like how good these other lads are. Like you're just like how can you be that good? Like you know.
Talk to me a small bit then as well. I'd like to kind of differentiate or see the levels between the Irish League here and then the Northern Irish League then as well. Because obviously you're with Bows and then Glenavon as well.
Yeah, and I think the league down here is way better, way better. It's like up there was a lot of lump ball, like just booting it up and trying to head it on and get in, like you know that way.
Seconds.
Yeah, unless you're playing for I think like the likes of Linfield or Cliftonville, like you know. But I think if they were to join our league, I don't think they get near the likes of Rovers or Bows or anything like that.
So what are the main differences then? Is it just calibre of player?
Yeah, just
facilities?
Like the bar facilities as well. Like we were like even with Glenavon, like we were just playing out in the bog, like training in the bog, like. But the clubs are really well run up there, like you know. Like you never hear like any Irish League clubs going bust or anything like they have down here. Like you know they're really well run. But yeah, no, there is a difference in quality. Like the quality down here is better. Like you know, yeah, definitely for me anyway.
So I know it's probably not a topic that you want to speak about, but you know, talk to me a little bit about the injuries, how tough that is mentally, and you know the pain you would have had to go through and stuff like that.
Yeah, I never suffered with like mental health. Right. You know, thank God, touch wood. But see, injuries and football, like obviously football was my life. I loved it. That was the hardest thing for me. It was injuries. Like that was the only time I ever felt like down. Like if I was injured, like, and like the Achilles. So obviously the two Achilles, I got surgery on both of them. I had chronic Achilles tendonitis. Like that started when the first year with Usher when I came back from America. Like I was like, how is this happening to me? But like I'd play and I couldn't walk for days. You know. And my dad, my uncle, my sister, they all complain with their Achilles, so I just don't know if it was just something in the family. Like I don't even like, and I went to physio after physio after physio. I'd be icing after every training session, feet into the bucket. Like I looked after myself. I did not look after myself. Do you get me? And even after games, like the lads going to the pub and all, I never did. I went home, had my protein shake or ate good. Like I always looked after myself because I needed to, because I just felt like I needed to do that extra to be at the top, of my game or whatever. But yeah, I just always suffered with injuries, like you know. Never had hamstring issues or anything like that until the Achilles injury started. I don't know, for whatever reason, like. But yeah, I was just always injured then, like you know. Couldn't get a run of things. I'd pull my hamstring, come back, I'd pull my other hamstring, come back from that, I'd pull my other hamstring. I was just so unlucky. But I didn't mind them injuries, but it was the Achilles that really I struggled with, you know.
Brought you the most pain, probably.
Brought me the most pain, stopped me from playing football now. Like even last season with Mocktis, like there was times like I was coming on just to come on for 20 minutes to try and score, like, and I was in bits I couldn't run. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it worked out that I'd come on and I'd score, but then like lads are shouting at me then like, come on, keep running. I couldn't, physically couldn't, and it was horrible. Like, and when you're going into work and you can't walk, and you're getting out of bed in the mornings, you can't walk. It's just like you had to try and, especially after getting the surgery, like, you know. I got the surgery, I got the left one done, and then 2 weeks later I got the right one done. Basically cut the Achilles in half and restarted it, basically got all that, whatever shit it was on it, like, you know. And worked for, it was during COVID, so I was grand. I never missed football with the surgeries. So it took me like, I don't know, 5-6 months to get back. And I worked for around 7 months. I was pain free. Then it just came back worse, and it's just here, like, you know what I mean. It's,
and how difficult is it to make that decision? Because it's obviously something that you don't want to do, but you know your body is telling you.
Yeah, no, it is. It's hard, like, and even now, like with Mocktis, like obviously I'm on the coaching staff. I'm doing the pods for the lads, and I'm doing the VO and stuff like that. You know, just to kind of stay involved as much as I can, and like I am signed like to play, like, and. But I just can't. Like I can't train. The lads are like, come on, just come train. Like, and but I haven't played in like a year. But I tell a lie, but I came on against Inchy Cork. We no players on the bench. Like, and I came on for like 5 minutes. And, you know, so but don't think that I'm back playing or anything. Like lads are like, are you back playing? I was like, no. So I just had to do a job for the lads. But now it is horrible. Like, and even now watching the lads, like it's not the same.
You want to be out there.
Yeah,
Like.
I want to be out there, and like I'm saying to myself, will I try and get another thing done to them and try and go back? Like, I'm only 31, but I'm this is with me since I'm 23. Like, you know, I had long years of dealing with it. Where I could get away with it, like playing with Usher, I could skip training on a Thursday and play, and then I could skip the training on the Monday because it'd take me 4 days to come back around. Like, you know what I mean? It was just that bad. It's horrible, horrible, really, really bad. But that's
Life's
just the way it
working out
goes.
all right for you now, though, with all this, isn't it?
No, it is. It's meant to be, like, you know what I mean. I'm gonna try and get them lasered or something again this year, and maybe try. Like, this was in the back of my head a while, like, just to give it another shot. But I don't think it will work because I'm still like, I haven't done anything and I'm still sore, like, you know.
Talk to me a little bit then about Mocktus as a whole. So, from a player's point of view, and then being on the other side of it, then with the coach and stuff.
I obviously went back to Usher then for that year, and it was our first year over in the Leinster Senior League, and we won that league. It was like 1B. I don't even know what it was. It was terrible. Like, it wasn't good standard kind of thing. And then I was in bits, so I was like to myself, what will I do? Like, I wanted to win that top league. I had my eyes set on that.
Yeah.
So once or twice I trained with Mocktus when I came from on a Thursday night with Glenavon. I think it was Dennis Moore. It's like, just come and train with us, like, because Usher weren't training or whatever. So Brian knew kind of who I was. So then I was like to myself, I only have like a year, two years max left on these. And Usher were down 4 or 5 leagues from the top league. They're in the second league now. So like, I'm never gonna be able to win that league with them,
level,
because I was proved right, like, because I'm gonna have to retire in like a couple of years, you know. So I was like, fuck it, right. I gave Brian a ring. I was like, any chance, you know, I can come up and play for you? And he said, yeah, come up and train with us, kid. And I really enjoyed it. Like, Glenn Clowes was the coach, and had some really good players. Like, again, it was another step up from playing in them leagues, like, you know. And first year went really well. Like, Crumlin beat us in the last day for the league. And then we played Usher in the Metro final and beat them 6-1. So I won the Metro with Mocktus in the first year, and obviously finished runners up. I was like, I have to give it one more year and try and win the league. So obviously last year was that year, and had a really good year again. Scored a good few goals, but playing time kind of went down because I was just in bits. You know, always struggling. Like, and I used to always, if I was on the bench, I'd be angry and going mad, like, you know. Whereas now I wasn't, because I physically couldn't do it. But I was going on and scoring goals, like important goals, which is sometimes you need in a squad. Like, you need players that are happy being a squad player that can come on and win. And I know Keane spoke about it. I don't know if you watched Stick to Football. Like, he spoke about Ollie and how he was a squad player, but he loved coming on and scoring. It was kind of reminded me, like, you know, I kind of related to it. Not reminded me of me, but related to it a good bit. And that was kind of me last year. Like, I wasn't starting every week, but I was happy being part of the team because I knew, like, we had a really good chance of winning the league, like, you know. And scored some important goals that really kept us up there, and I loved every minute of it. And obviously winning the league, going out, and that's when I hung up the boots, and that's something I wanted to do, and that's why I left Usher. And luckily it worked out for the good.
You left on a high anyway, what?
Yeah, no, I did. Like, I can't even remember what happened leaving Usher and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say, like, if I didn't struggle with them injuries, I probably would have still been with them, like, you know what I mean. But that's just life, and that's the way it goes, and it worked out for the best. But
I'd also like to know your thoughts on, like, football and coaching in Ireland, to maybe when you were a small bit younger to maybe where it is now, so it can even go from, you know, schoolboy to, you know, LSL, or even in the League of Ireland as well.
I think it's come on massively. Like, I've been lucky enough. I've had some good coaches. Like, I had who was Glenn? What's his name? Abbas.
Cronin? No, Glenn Cronin.
No, it wasn't. No, who am I thinking about? Glenn and Keith. Who was with Bowes at the time? Keith Long, and he was his right hand man.
Trevor
Crowley. Like,
his
training was unbelievable.
Really,
I never had.
He's highly regarded, isn't he?
Really, really, like, unbelievable. Like, the intensity. I've never been part of anything like it. Like, you know. Wezzo, obviously the Usher manager, really good as well, really good intensity. Mark Kenny then at Moctus and Crowley at Moctus, the two of them, really, really good. So I've been lucky I've had some really good coaches. But I think nowadays, like even like yourself, what you're doing, like it's great like for the kids, you know. Something that we never had. Kind of had to go out and do it on your own. Like you never had anyone to do it with you as such. So now I think that the coaching in Ireland has really come on, and the underage, the way they're doing the League of Ireland now, it's really, really good. Really good.
It's crazy that you mentioned that, because all of the coaches that pay the difference, like, you know, whether it's, Ando probably says it the most out of everyone. He's like, I would have loved to have this as a kid.
Definitely,
like, it's mental.
Because it was always me dad, like, you need to do more, but like, he wasn't that, like, coached football to bring me and do that more, like, you know, that way. There was no one there to do that at the time. Well, not that I knew of anyway back then, like, you know. So it was obviously you going out and doing it yourself. Like, I remember going up to Belleville because they had a goal and there was a railings behind you didn't have to chase the ball. Like, but it was always just up there on my own, you know. You never had anyone telling you what to do. Like, there was never anything like that. Whereas now, like, there's so many, like yourself, and I know there's others. But there's no one, like, obviously be the difference, you know?
Yeah, see that.
But, yeah, so it's definitely improved, and I think the Irish football is only getting better and better and bigger, which is good, like, and just needs to keep going, I suppose.
Brilliant. We'll speak a little bit outside of football. I know you touched a small bit at the start as well.
Yeah.
You're a S&A in a school. And then talk to me a little bit how the whole photography thing came about as well.
Yeah, I'm an S&A in a primary school, and S&A isn't going to get you a house. Like, you know, the money's not great, but it's a great job. I'm doing that 7 years now, and I love it. It's a school in town. And then the photography was kind of more so my girlfriend kind of pushed me, because I was always good at, like, my phone, and even the lads tell, I always had my phone out recording. Even the lads in Moxes tell, I'm just trying to get them, you know, funny things and just, you know, give them a bit of stick. And even when Bebo was out, like, I was making skins for people. I just always had, like, a little thing for, like, social media and, like, you know, photos and videos and stuff like that. And then obviously my dad's a photographer, and she was like, why don't you ask your dad for a camera, like, and just go out and start doing it. So I asked my dad for a camera. He gave me one. He gave me one of his old ones, and we went to Paris and was just taking photos and stuff like that.
I think that's when I text you.
Yeah, and that's when you text me, and I was like, oh, should I do it? Like, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And, like, my dad was telling me, don't do it, don't you? You make a balls of it, like, kind of thing. And he was like, don't mind, Tim, just go and do it. Like, go and do it. Like, it doesn't matter. What's the worst comes to worst. Like, what happens? Like, nothing. So I was like, I was looking up photography courses and stuff like that. So I ended up doing one. Then I was like to you, I was like, right, I'll come on board and I'll take pictures for you and I'll do videos. And yeah, just ever since then, I've just
snowballed, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've just been out the door with it, and it's great. Like, I really enjoy it. It doesn't feel like work, you know, that way. And I do it. I get out and try and do football matches for any teams, and, you know, the Leinster Senior League, AUA, it doesn't really matter. Kids games, just doing everything. Busy, like, you know, but it's really good. I really enjoy it. But yeah.
Brilliant. I have a few questions here for you to finish up.
Yeah.
Just in terms of dressing rooms and players you've played against and stuff, like, so we'll try and bash through this as quick as you can.
Right.
Biggest moaner you've came across in a dressing room? Call people out as well.
Yeah. Biggest moaner. Wouldn't be far off myself. Moan. But Bucko was an awful moan.
He won't like that one.
No, he was an awful moan. Trying to think who else. I can't even think of it now.
Surely there's a few off mocked us.
You know what? I'm not even playing right this year, obviously, but I'm in the dressing room. But Alex Kelly, he plays centre mid. He's an awful man. Really? Awful man. Yeah. Big time, like, you know. He doesn't get the ball or whatever. He's always looking for it, you know, the way. He's a great player, like, but I'll go with him and Bucko, even though I haven't played with Alex as such, like, you know. Right, next one.
Worst dressed you've seen in a dressing room? This would be interesting.
Gar McCaffrey's up there, yeah.
What type of clobber are we talking about now?
It's just mad, just random clobber, like, you know what I mean? Like runners from back in the day, like, he's still rocking around then.
Pair of K-Swiss or something, is it?
Yeah. Mikey Scott's not, like, he's good dressed, but he's like a real, like, Hout. I'm from Hout kind of dress. It's mad, but it suits him, like, you know what I mean?
V-neck
if I wore it, it'd be like, wow. Not for me, but I'll go Gar McCaffrey, definitely.
Right, biggest joker in the dressing room.
Keith Ward.
Yeah.
I know I was only there for 3 months, but my
I heard
God,
he's some crack.
he's just nuts.
I know Keith quite well, but I don't know him like overly well either.
Yeah, he does one of the funniest blokes I've ever met.
Yeah.
He does mad.
It's crazy because a lot of people say he's great for a dressing room.
Oh,
as well.
unbelievable! He's brilliant. That was probably the best dressing room I've ever been in that year.
Really?
Well, 3 months, whatever I done at Bows, but yeah, it was so good, the dressing room. Like the lads were just mad.
Sick player as well.
Yeah, but to be fair, like Moctus has a good few ones as well. Like Mikey Scott's a head case.
Yeah.
Head case. No, he's not there. He's just tapped, but good for the dressing room,
Yeah.
So I go Keith Ward or probably Mikey Scott. Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, last two. Best player you've played with and against, and then pick your 5-a-side team you've got to go out and play tomorrow.
See, obviously, like if I was to pick one like that, I played. Mark Sykes will be up there. He played with Glenavon. He's I think he's with Oxford now, I think, or Bristol. One of them.
I've heard of him. He's playing in
very
England.
Good. He was very good. He was glided by people. So if I was to go
what position was he in?
he was centre midfielder in the 10. He was very, very good. I can't leave obviously Bucko out. Everybody knows how good he is.
He's a joke.
And Redzer Brady I'd probably put Redzer just ahead of Bucko. But he was just
different gravy.
You just don't know what he was just mad though. Like he didn't know what he was gonna do, but he was left and right foot, and then at times he'd go to take a free kick with his right foot, and he says, "I don't fancy this," and he just goes to his left foot, and I'm just like,
Sandy Cazorla vibes.
He doesn't try either, like
really,
that way, and that shows how good he is. Like so, obviously with them kind of teams, Glenavon and Bowes, I probably would have picked Sykes, and then obviously with the amateur kind of team, I'd probably Bucko or Redzer, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about player against, surely, or is that a stupid question?
You know what I always found hard against I just say toughest defender I suppose was Joe Flood off Sheriff.
Really, yeah.
He's just an animal.
Yeah.
He was
run through a big
bully.
ball.
Yeah. A bully, but he could play as well.
Right.
And I done a bit of camera work for the 3Ps podcast lads, and I mic'd him up, and even just watching him there, he's just flying around into that. He was just one of the hardest players I played against, definitely. And then obviously the likes of a few boys off Mole, they were very good, Technically it was different gravy.
Right, bash your 5-a-side team out for me.
Goalie as well, yeah, so...
You decide.
Yeah, no, I got...
outfielders or the goalie, whatever.
So 4 outfielders and 1 goalkeeper.
Yeah, go for it.
I go... Can I put Supple in because couldn't score against him in training.
Really, yeah.
It was the
I heard he's a cat and a half.
Unbelievable. Honest to God, he's the best keeper I've ever played against. Not played against, but I couldn't score against him.
He's so big as well.
He was so good. He's so good. So I put Supple in goal. It's a hard one. It's a tough one. I'll go Redzer.
Yeah.
Bucko.
Mhm.
I'll go McCaffrey as well, Gar McCaffrey.
Just
can't get the ball up. And then I'll have to probably pick another defender, won't I? I'll go Sean Heaney. Play centre half for Moctus, he's unbelievable.
Okay.
So then 4.
Lovely.
So I'll go Sean Heaney at the back with Reds, and then Bucko, and then Gar up top, and then Supple and go.
Happy days.
I'd pick Hoylo if it was like an amateur kind of, Leinster senior team or whatever AUL. I'd pick Hoylo. And go. He's very good as well.
Right. Brilliant. Steo, that's a wrap.
Get back behind the camera now.
Get behind the camera. My God. But yeah, guys, look, there's episode 9. That's a wrap. The usual, Spotify, YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.